Yeah, we can see your screen.
So I'm going to create a process that will be a process for file sorting. We're going to see how easy it is, and it can be built just in few
First of
minutes.
all,
So what?
first of all, can you describe what we are looking at today? What is the case?
Yes, I'm going to describe that. So what we are going to do is this is a folder where I have a lot of files. If you can see, I have some text files. I have some PDF files as well. Let's suppose I want to sort these files and put these PDF files into the PDF folder and the text files into the text folder. And then I want to create a report with today's date saying that there were a total of these many files, out of which PDF files were, say, X, and text files were the remaining files. So I'm going to create that report and put it right
That
here
that
as well.
sounds like a case where you will use a lot of the activities that you will do in a normal RPA workflow. So I'll look forward to see that.
Let's see. Yeah, let's see. So first of all, I'm gonna get all the files. So I'll get all the files from that folder, which I just told you. It's a folder on my
Mhm.
desktop, say files, all files. That is the folder where I have all these files. So I'm gonna get all these files. I'll put star so that I get all the files. I'm gonna put it in this variable called all
Uh,
underscore
Minal,
files.
can you open that? Can you open
Yeah,
that activity again? The get files and folder.
yeah,
So when
yes.
you're creating a variable, is that the person's percentages sign like in the start and the end?
The variables are
Yeah.
here. These are the
So
variables. Anything that comes under this kind of a percentage
yeah.
one, these are the
Okay, and you just
variables.
create them by writing them out, and then it will be created.
Yeah, it'll be created by itself. That's interesting, isn't it? So if you see, this is the variable
Yeah.
panel, and this has this variable
And
created.
WinAutomation will automatically know that it is a type of list of files.
Yeah,
Cool.
list of
Cool.
files, here it is. Because that will be depending upon which activity you are using in. It will automatically decide the type of variable which it has to be.
Cool.
Okay. So now I'm going to create two more list variables. So how we can create a list variable is I can use this activity called create. 1 minute. Okay, so even if I do not know the name exactly, what I can do is I can go to this variable section out here, and here I can actually see, is there any variable to create an list. So here, if you see, I have this variable to create a list. To be honest, it just skipped my mind what exact variable, what exact activity name
Yeah.
was there. But you see, it's quite easy to find out. So I would say here, I'll create this list saying moved files underscore PDF, because in this list, I'm going to actually store all my PDFs, which I'm going to move to the PDF folder. Okay.
So first, just to sure, you are retrieving a list of all the files in the folder, and then you're creating a list with the files that you want to move. But that's only the PDFs. So
Yes.
you'll create another list for the text, or is that rightly understood?
Absolutely right, Indus. I'm going to create another list here in which I'm going to name it as moved file underscore text, because here it will consist of all the files which I am going to move in the text folder. Yeah,
Yeah.
if you see, here it is. Okay, so once we do that, we need to loop around these all files,
Mm-hmm.
correct? So for that, I'll go to the files folder. We would have a for each loop. So yeah, here it is. So I'll drag and drop this activity called for each, and here it will ask me which variable do I want to iterate. So I'm going to delete this, and here I'm going to say all files because I want to loop around all the files. So it's also asked in which variable shall I store the current file, right? whichever item is being processed. So I'll change the name to current file to make it more meaningful.
So for those of us that are using UiPath a lot, that will be the equivalent to the item in the for each row in UiPath, right?
Absolutely correct. Absolutely right. So if you see, this is of type file and it's created here. Okay, so now here I'm going to drag and drop a if condition here, because I'm going to see this condition if the file is of type PDF or not. So here I'm going to say if.
What did you do there? Like you press the wheel. What is that? Sorry. No,
this,
in the
I'm just
in the if, and then you press the wheel out there. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is kind of this is the place how we insert the variables. Now, one way is obviously I can type these variable names right here if I remember or if I want to see. But let's say I do not want to type the variable names. So then we can press this particular icon to get the variables right inserted right here. Okay, so let me show you. So another thing is, if you see this current file, I can expand this thing to get the different properties and to get the values of those different properties.
Also, I could.
So once I
Sorry, just go on.
Yeah, so once I expanded this current file, it has different properties and I can get the values of different properties as well. So here in our case, I will get this property called extension, because this would this way I could know whether it's a text file.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So that's quite easy to extract the info about the file, right?
Yes, because in we have to use assign probably most of the times, or we need to know exactly which property. Yeah. But here you can, once we have got this extension, we need to check whether this extension contains. So if you see this operator list, you have different set of operators which can be used, equal to, not equal to, and so on. But in our case, we are going to use contains, because then we can check whether this particular variable contains .pdf or not, because this would actually tell us whether it's a PDF file or not.
What is an extension? Can you elaborate on that? Is that just the ending, or what is it? What is it?
So yeah, I'll tell you. Whenever you actually go to the properties of any file, if you see here, you have this type of file, right? Now here you have this .pdf. That would mean this type of file is .pdf. So extension is probably the last part of the file name, which would actually tell you what kind of file it is.
Yeah.
Okay. So extension will get you that.
So and then I don't understand why do we have to make it contains? Couldn't we just make an equal sign in the operator? What will be the difference there in using an equal sign or the contains?
Yeah, we can do that. We can even do that equal to as well.
So that will be the same here. It will just, thank you.
Yes, in this case it will be same. Contains basically means, let's suppose there is something, if a long string, for example, I would say ABC, okay, equal to if it is a whole ABC, but contains mean if I want to search only A, then probably I need to use contains. But in our case, probably it's same, so we can use either equal to or we can use contains.
Cool.
Okay. So I'm going to use equal to here and I'm going to click OK. So once I've clicked that, I need to use another activity. Basically, this activity I'm going to use move file to move my current file from all files folder to PDF folder. Okay. I'm going to drag and drop this activity here. So if you see inside this activity, it's asking me which file do I need to move. So if you remember, I had this file in this variable called current file. It's a file type variable and it will store the value of the current file. Okay. And then in the destination folder, I have to provide the destination folder where I actually want to move it. Sorry, not in the variable section, but I have to click here and it will open the Explorer. to actually from where I can actually select the folder where I want to move the file. I want to move the file to the PDF folder. Okay. So this will automatically get all the path, and then I would say it will store also the file which I've just moved into this variable moved files. It's yet not declared, but once I click OK, you will see this variable in the variable pan. So let me change the name to moved file. Okay, so this will actually contains that. Now, once we have this moved file, probably we need to add it to this list which we created earlier, moved files underscore PDF, so that it will keep adding all the PDF files which are already moved. So I'm gonna.
So that will be for the log, right? So
Sorry.
will that be for the log? I mean, because we move them here, and then we want to add them to the moved file PDF. Is that for our log in the end?
Yes, absolutely right. Because we're going to create a report in the end which will tell us how many files are moved to the PDF folder. So that will probably help us to count these files quite easily. Now here I'm going to add item to list variable. If you see activity, sorry. Once I use that, it will ask which item I want to add. So the item that I want to add is moved file. So I'm going to again press this icon, click on this variable called moved file, and I'm going to add it to moved files underscore PDF. So that's it. It's as simple as this. It will just move the file from this variable to this list. Yep. Okay. So, yeah. Once I do that, I can simply use another else if condition to actually do the same processing for text files as well. Here also, I'm going to say current file. I can use equal to or I can use contain. Let me use contains in this case. Dot text, because text files have extension .txt. So I'm going to say if the current file contains .txt, I'm going to say OK. In that case, again, I'm going to use move file to move those files to respective text folder. So files to move, that would be the current file, because I want to move the current file now. The destination folder, again, I'm going to open this Explorer and move it to this text folder. The path has come up, and here I'm going to say store it in the same variable. I'm not going to create another variable now because I can reuse the same variable which was created beforehand. Okay, so now this will actually store my text file. Moved files will now store my text file. So I'm again going to add this to the list, add item to the list, and I'm going to add it to this text folder this time. Sorry, not text folder, but this list which I had created, moved files underscore text. Okay, so I'm done. Probably my files will be moved by itself just by this code. And once I have done that, what I need to do is I need to create a report here with today's date. And there I'm going to create a log. How many were the total files and how many were moved to PDF or text folder. So for that, first of all, I need to know the current date. So to know current date and time, I can use this activity called get current date and time. This will automatically get me current date and time according to system's time zone. Okay, that's it. I don't need to do anything. This variable date time is created and it will actually store the date time in this variable. So once I do that, probably I'll format and change it to text so that it can be added at the end of the file name. So I'll say convert date time to text. I'll tell you the reason as well. Just give me a minute. Here I'm going to provide the current date time, and then I can actually choose the format in which the date will be created. Because guys, if you know, if we use a colon at the end in the report name, probably it doesn't take it. So I'm just going to use this format. I can actually choose different formats here as well by changing it here. For example, I can even put a custom format, or I can use different standard formats. See, it's changing, but let me keep it simple. I'll keep it as a short date. And this will be stored in a new variable, formatted date and time, which will be created once I press OK. Okay. So I click OK. And once I do that, simple, I'll use a write text to file. Here, what we need to do is we need to get the file path. So to get the file path, what we need to do is we need to just click on that icon, and I've created this report for a empty report. So I'm going to just get this. So once I get this, probably I need to append the date in the end of the report. So I'm just going to go here, click on this icon to get the variable formatted date and time. Oh, so no problem. It's coming up like this. Let me just copy paste it here, and I'm going to get the file name once again. Once I get that, I'm just going to append this variable. This is very interesting.
Oh, so
I can append this variable.
So you can append variables directly into like the file path?
Yes, we can do that. So that's quite easy in that way. So here I'm just going to create this log where I'll write total files. So this is another yet interesting point. So all files is a variable of list type. So here you have this property called count. So I don't need to do anything. I'll just click it and you can get the count of all the files. Okay. So and then I will write total files move to PDF folder. So here again I'm going to do the same thing. The files moved to the PDF would be there, the full path, but I'm interested only to know the count. So I can get it by using this extension .count. Similarly, I'll just copy paste this. Total files move to the text folder. That I can again get by using this variable called moved files underscore text, and then I'm going to get the count property. So that's it. I'm not going to change anything. I'll click OK. I'll go back to the folder. Let me delete this report, and I'm going to press save, and I'm going to run it. Let's try. And let me go to the folder. In the meanwhile, if you see, the folder will start decreasing because the files are being picked up and moved to the corresponding folder. So it's done. Probably it has come out. And if I go back to the PDF folder, all the files are in the PDF folder. Text folder, all the files are in text folder. And we have this report. Total files are 20. Move to PDF folder 15 and text folder 5.
Bingo!
So yes, probably it's done. This can be further enhanced to read the context of the files, to get the names of the files, to move this data to Excel and so on. But this is just a simple small video that I wanted to show.
Can you, and you will send me the link to you will send me the workflow so we can build it ourselves, me and my viewers, right?
How shall I send you? Sorry, I don't know how can I send you? You want me to? Okay, yeah.
I want the workflow of the WinAutomation thing so we can build it ourselves and maybe we can check the solution. We can do it at a video.
Absolutely. Yes, I think that's another interesting point because what is in WinAutomation, you can directly import and export any videos. So once I export and I'll provide you this probably this whole code, and then you can directly import into your WinAutomation and can run this. You just need to adjust it to change the file paths, and then you can run it on your own WinAutomation
Thank
software.
you, Minal. This interview is about to come to an end. Is there anything you want to add or say? Or you think we covered it all?
I think we covered it all. I just I thought your viewers would like this interview and would be able to benefit. I'm more than happy to answer any questions in the future if you have.
Minal,
Yeah.
for me personally, I can say I benefit a lot for this interview with you. I thought the Win Automation thing was also cool. You are a very nice person, and I'm sure my viewers will definitely appreciate what you were telling us today. You were so kind to spend your time. And will you, so if my viewers, they have some questions for you, if they post them below this video, maybe you will come back in a week or two and then answer those ones you can?
Absolutely. I'll definitely do that. We'll be happy to answer those questions. Also, feel free to connect with me over LinkedIn. I'm pretty active there as well.
Thank you, Minal, and thank you for today.
Thank you so much.
Bye
Thanks,
bye.
Anders, to have me here. Yeah, thanks. Bye.